If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
Now, this is an interesting little Ben clip, and it's more interesting.
Do I start right from the top, or do I think to
let me do a little intro here. It's more interesting in light of a story that came out on February 27th. I have an article. After we do the Ben clip, I'm going to put up this article from the Jerusalem Post on the 27th. Always a good read. Well as we'll also put up some other things that Ben has posted that indicate that maybe what he thinks here
Ben loves to
is
post.
Not exactly the truth.
Ben's a good poster.
So here's Ben. Basically deflecting a question from a goy in the audience. Let's watch.
All right. I'll preface my question by saying that I admire your work for a number of different reasons, and perhaps what I find most admirable about you is your strict sense of ethnic and religious identity as a Jew. Your Jewish background has clearly played a significant role in influencing or shaping the political, social, and cultural ideals and values that you have, as well as your support for Israel as a nation state. So, I'm wondering, Ben, do you support the classical definition of a nation as being demographically and culturally homogenous, like that of Israel, similar to the definition that American forefathers generally upheld, with exceptions, of course, until the Hart-Celler Immigration Act of 1965?
Okay, so
one,
I want to correct a mischaracterization. You said that I take a lot of pride in my ethnic.
I know. Is Yaf gonna be real mad there?
Was that Yaf?
Yeah, Young Americans for Foundation. Like, aren't they?
Is that Young Americans Foundation? Young Americans for Freedom? I was thinking.
Yeah, Yaf.
That guy was laughing whenever he claimed to respect him for being such a strong Jew.
Yeah, I think this guy. Look,
I think this might be he might be the only kind of plant that Jews don't jerk off on.
I don't know if he's a plant. I think he might be a guy. I think he might be a guy that maybe has some other influences and decided to go to the Ben Shapiro speech just to
maybe he just wants. Maybe he just
maybe he's like genuinely curious.
Yeah, maybe he just wants like Ben once and for all to kind of like reconcile this sort of this
fundamental
contradiction. This contradiction in the ideology that
he can't.
So here we go.
He literally cannot.
Let's get into the answers here.
Yeah, let's see how Ben Shapiro handles this one.
Listen, Goy, I don't know who wants you in here to express these views. Obviously, you're some kind of Nazi who doesn't toss me softballs if you look good.
Like, look, you were supposed to toss me some softballs asking about whether men and men and women are women and SJWs.
I don't care about ethnicity. I care about ideas. And the idea here, buddy, is like you're not allowed to hate Jews like that. Because,
well, listen, guy, the idea here is that this is an anti-SJW speech.
Which voice you fucking doing over there, you fucking... I don't know what you think this is.
Cantwell over there.
That's what I just saw was going on.
I thought I was doing your imitation of Ben. So no, what Ben wants is this is the anti-SJW speech. He wants to complain about SJWs doing identity politics instead on campus, reducing everything to race.
Yes.
Because oh God, these non-whites reducing everything to race are going to make the whites start identifying as whites, and I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen.
And this guy basically just asked, so can we just identify as whites now? Please, please, Ben. Is that okay with you?
Ben, please,
and he's gonna be,
Ben, please, Rabbi. Teach.
And we looked at the data, and the answer will shock you.
Yes.
One, I want to correct a mischaracterization. You said that I take a lot of pride in my ethnic and religious identity. I take no pride in my ethnic identity. I take a lot of pride in my religious identity.
Look at his face.
There are a lot of people.
He's mad.
Is there something that I should put on screen from his Twitter, perhaps, as he's saying this?
Yes, I sent it to you. It's in your.
Is it in my book?
It's in your little DM there.
It's my
I just want to call attention to Ben's.
You gotta put his sister's titties on screen.
Those are a strong ethnic phenotypic marker, right? Like those are. I think Khazar milkers are.
When the milkers strike,
yes,
none strike harder.
So as Ben talks about how he does not care.
It's Ben Shapiro, my 23 fully accurate genetic test here, 100% Ashkenazi.
Yeah.
So he's not at all proud of his ethnic.
There's no pride here.
This is all about ideas. The idea being that if that says 100% Ashkenazi, that I have something to be proud of.
Yes, I mean you would never boast of your DNA test unless you felt some kind of pride in it. And everyone feels kind of pride. The same way you like getting your DNA test back 100% European, I'm assuming all of our listeners are 100% European. If you're not,
wow,
what are you even doing? Joking. But you get your 100% European DNA test, and you're like, yes, that feels great, right? That's how Ben feels, except more so when he gets 100% Ashkenazi Jewish.
So he just denied his statement made in this tweet here that's on the screen.
Oh yes,
23andMe coming through with fully accurate genetic test here.
I'm not proud at all.
Not proud at all of this.
Heritage here.
I did not post.
I could have 0% Ashkenazi Jewish DNA, and
I would still think that we need to show every Palestinian Arab all over the world.
yes.
Just the idea.
I'd have zero genetic identification with the Jewish people historically, and I would still want to kill their enemies and drive them from the land as Yahweh commands.
I would still want to bulldoze the fucking the homes and the settlements of their enemies and just destroy them and just shoot at their children.
Judaism is creedal, guys. I don't need any ethnic DNA to want to kill the fucking Arabs. Right, let's listen.
Oh, that felt good. That was fun. All right, Benny. Let's go with Benny and his creedle.
Yeah. Rock the creedle.
Creedle of filth.
I just don't care about. Right, like Noam Chomsky was born Jewish. He's a schmuck. Like, I don't care at all. Bernie Sanders born Jewish, schmuck. Like I don't.
Hold on. All right. There's a lot of white people I think are assholes too.
Yeah.
That's like really quite irrelevant. Like, you know, like there's probably more white people that I think are assholes than almost any other group.
Is Chomsky even anti-Zionist? I don't remember.
Chomsky does a bait and switch. Chomsky's a left-wing Zionist, I would say, because Chomsky says like we need a two-state solution along the UN lines, 1967
that we can violate from 20 years from now.
Yeah, well, no, he does. He will call them out on the violating of it, but he's like the main thing Chomsky does is he says, "What are you talking about? Israel controls the U.S. Israel's a colony of the United States." And, it's like, but then that doesn't make sense. So
that I'm making is that religious identity is a different thing because that's a set of ideas and values. Religion is creedal, in the same way the American Declaration of Independence is creedal. So when it comes to the definition of a nation,
and it's creedal, that means I can be a part of it, right, guys?
I would say that it is very important that a nation have a creed in common. I'm not particularly.
What if that creed is no?
Interested in having an ethnicity in common. When they say that Israel, for example, is ethnically homogenous, that's just not true. Israel is filled with Russian Jews and Ethiopian Jews and Yemeni Jews. My wife is a Moroccan Jew. So just because they all have a religion in common doesn't make them ethnically identical.
What else do they have in common?
We have all kinds of Jews here.
Well, it's just a creed.
It's just a creed.
Just like we have in America. In America, we have white Constitution believers and black Constitution believers and Jewish Constitution believers and Ethiopian Constitution believers and Mexican Constitution believers. And, you know, it's like America's creedal.
We have one
based on the idea of
we have 1024th Native American Constitution believers. We have one or two of those.
This nation is creedal. That's why we put the Native Americans on reservations because they were
we want to reserve
different creed. They didn't believe in the Constitution.
By any stretch of the imagination. Right? Again, there's no. It's pretty hard to find somebody who's more ethnically non-identical than a Russian Jew and an Ethiopian Jew. So the reason
except what happens to that Ethiopian Jew? Yeah. I mean, there's a number of issues here. Okay, first of all, Ashkenazi Jews, there's basically two major strains in Judaism. Those are what they call the Ostjuden, the Ashkenazi Eastern European Jews, and the Western European Sephardic or Spanish Jews, which mainly were Jews that had kind of moved out of two different kind of camps that had migrated to different parts of Europe. The Sephardim settled mainly in Spain, and a lot of them converted to Christianity, pretended to, then the Inquisition, and then they were collaborating with the Muslims. The Muslims get driven out by 1492. These people spread across the rest of Europe, and a lot of them come to the New World as well. That's one strain. The other strain are the Pale Settlement Jews, the Ashkenazim, who are the main strand of Judaism because a lot of the Sephardic have either bred out into the Goy population or died off or started to identify as Ashkenazi because Ashkenazi were the dominant sect in Judaism. Yeah. Anyway, the issue here is the issue here is that his Moroccan Jew wife is probably Sephardic. She's probably still basically, quote unquote, a white Jew. She's not a Moroccan Arab. But the point is, Jews have, those two major strains are the two major strains. Then there's another smaller group of Arab Jews called Mizrahi, and then there's these weird African Jews. They get sterilized in Israel. So racially,
but they live there. They get to live there though.
And also, if they're so racially dissimilar, where's this 100% DNA coming from? The DNA is clearly identifiable to a racial group.
That's just creedal.
So this is fundamentally a lie. And so there's a lot of backup questions I would have asked, but let's wait till he's done, and then I will tell you the
he's got
backup
a minute
questions
left
I would have asked. Yeah.
Listen,
guy.
We've got a 1 minute of Pilpul left.
Yeah,
here.
one more minute of Pilpul.
2 minutes of Pilpul.
believe in Israel as a nation state is not for ethnic reasons. It's because of religious observance reasons. That Israel is a place where the religion of Judaism can thrive and be safe, which I think is an important thing. And I think the same thing is true.
What? It can't happen in America? Safer here.
Don't give me any more ideas.
No, I know. I don't want it, but yeah.
The creed of the United States. I think America is a creedal country. I think it's what has made America great. Now, that's not to say that everybody who comes into the country has an equal capacity to assimilate to that creed. The assimilation capacity of people, I don't think, has to do much with ethnic identity. I think it does have to do with cultural identity. No. I think there are cultures that come into the country, people who come from various cultures, who may not be as easily able to assimilate, because obviously...
It's almost like that seems to correlate ethnically a lot, but whatever, that's fine. There may be a correlation there, but let's pretend, it's not causality,
That's just the case. I mean, there are people who come in and they already know English. There are people who come in and they've already had a history.
Who are the people? What kind of people already know English when they come in? Would they be people would they be Europeans, generally speaking? I mean,
doesn't everybody just know English now?
I think Indian. Oh, he's also talking about Indians. Fuck. He's fucking talking about Pajeets.
Western democracy, there are people who come in and they've never seen a gay person before, and in their old country, they caned and killed.
That's right. We have to make sure that we got to make sure we save our gays. That's creedal.
I forgot how mad that part made me.
That's creedal.
Yes.
How does Israel do it?
Because God knows if there's one thing that identifies the United States,
it's gayness.
It's gay people. So if you come into America and you don't like gays, boy, you're not going to fit in.
G.
God. I legitimately lost my fucking temper there. I don't know. I actually screamed incoherently.
Is there a vibrant homosexual scene in Tel Aviv?
Yes.
Oh, there is. Yeah. Well, all right. Thought I would have him on some hypocrisy there, but whatever. What about in Jerusalem?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think that this is we already talked about how the issue of abortion in Israel is actually just
and that's a story I have as well. That's a story I have as well, and the dovetails with that too.
What, the abortion? What?
Well, something along those lines. Not exactly abortion, but we talked about the termination board.
Oh yes,
and how they go about doling out abortions.
How they go about using it to protect the Jewish. To get rid of mixed births.
There's probably nothing left of this. We should just go into the article I have.
Well, let's just see. Let's give them the last.
You want to give them the last?
Seconds,
all right, 20 seconds.
So it's important to recognize that cultures are not the same thing as ethnicities, and I think it's a dangerous game to play when we say that that ethnicity means culture when they clearly do not mean anything of the sort.
Maybe it's dangerous for a specific type of people if that connection is made.
This is the stock Jewish response, though. They do this all the time.
Yeah, so please, God, don't notice that our ethnicity and our culture are pretty much one.
Well, I mean, there's some follow-up questions. Now, I don't know if this guy was allowed follow-up questions. I would have pressed the issue. Just fuck your. I'm
sure that they I'm surprised they let him finish his question. I'm sure there were no follow-up questions to that guy.
But I mean, here's some examples that I would have given. I would be like, okay, so Judaism is creedal. How can I become Jewish?
Well, you just have to do some go through some rituals. You may have to sacrifice some foreskins and suck some baby
okay,
dicks.
so when you say, then, you had this tweet where you say you're 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. What does that mean? Well, how does that, why is that even important to you? Why does that matter? If you were 0% Ashkenazi Jewish, would you have the same creed? These are all, again, but I feel like
would he point to Noam Chomsky's 23andMe and say, look how different we are?
Noam Chomsky's probably also 100% Ashkenazi.
I know. I'm saying
Jewish.
No, I'm saying he would say he would further his argument it means it doesn't matter because we believe such wildly different things, but we both have the same genetic stock. I guess.
So what? I mean, look, this is the thing.
This is like an outward facing point though. Internally they know they're fighting for the same interest, the same thing.
Well, maybe they don't. I think that
maybe they don't know it, but they are.
But you gotta understand the range of debate between Noam Chomsky and Ben Shapiro is not as wide as would be professed, because Noam Chomsky still claims to believe in freedom and democracy. Ben Shapiro claims to believe in freedom and democracy. Noam Chomsky supports the existence of the state of Israel. Noam Chomsky he doesn't think Israel should be as an aggressive, expansive state the way it is. He thinks Israel should withdraw to not 1948 borders, 1967 borders. Now, those for some reason are legitimate.
They won a war.
They won a war. So apparently that's okay, taking of territory in war. So there's a number of principles.
Group having an internal debate.
Yes. The Ben
We're
Shapiro,
along for the ride.
The Ben Shapiro, like literally deport the Palestinians to Jordan and give us all the territory, versus the Noam Chomsky. Hey, maybe we should be a little bit more moderate in our approach. The other thing they agree on is they will both deny that Israel essentially controls U.S. foreign policy. Right. That's the worst thing that Chomsky does, is that he takes all these progressive leftists. Now, he's going to die soon. He's very old. He's totally senile. But the worst thing he did was years and years, he diverted leftists down this wrong path. Leftists that were opposed to Israel down this wrong path of Israel is a colonial state subject to the U.S. The people that think Israel controls the U.S. are wrong. And that problem is, that explanation is so nonsensical that it leads him into absurdity trying to defend it. Yeah. But I just think it's not, first of all, they're both ethnically Ashkenazi Jewish, and I just think the differences between them are not as wide as would seem. And look, ethnic groups have internal debates. There's going to be, if you want to represent it by left and right, liberal, conservative, whatever, there's moderates, there's extremists. That's an internal thing. White people have this too. And it's like the liberalism, conservatism debate, or free market socialism, that debate itself is white. So you can't say like socialism is for browns and free markets is for whites, which is what I think some people would like to do that in an effort to try to get conservatives on side with racialism. But that's not really true, because there's a lot of white people that are socialists. Right. But the debate is what's white. The push and pull between those two different tendencies is the white thing. Other people don't even care.